Hey, folks, while the rise in the stock market is stoking politics of envy, the great news is that anyone can be a member of this club. And by the way, it's nuts not to participate. So on that note, let me bring in my panel, two of my favorites, Zuma Global President Heather Zumaraga, along with Rob Luna, CEO of Surevest. It's a CI company. All right, Heather, you know, there's an old saying, don't hate the player, hate the game. But when it comes to the stock market, I think the playing should be, it should be tweaked a little bit, right? Become a player and love the game. Why not mimic the rich instead of all of the scoring that we read about?
Right, absolutely. Well said, Charles. Look, the S&P 500 has its best week over the past 3 months, if you can believe that. And yes, the markets are moving higher on stimulus hopes. And whether or not we get this $1.8 trillion deal, President Trump now saying, go big or go home. Are you listening, Nancy? I think the market is also moving higher on corporate earnings and profits, and big tech still leading the way, that's for sure. And news of a promising vaccine and treatments coming down the pipeline. That is what is moving the markets.
Rob, I know you're out there in Hollywood, and I see you with those exotic cars and whatnot. So, you know, you've got a client base that understands that Rob's your man, that investing is the way to change your life. But how do you explain it to someone who maybe just isn't sure? And at the same time, though, you know, every time they read Forbes 400, you know, those 400 people stay on the list because they're invested in the stock market.
Yeah, I mean, you got to be in this stock market to be able to afford a nice, you know, blue window pane jacket like you're wearing today, Charles. That's where the money's at right now. I mean, if you look at what's going on, Charles, what's really got me, you know, excited about this market, the advanced decline line has hit 90%. So this market has really broadened out. You're seeing small caps. Look at the SOX index, up 28% year to date. This is the place you got to be. And I just talked a couple weeks ago about this. Everybody thinks they're smarter than the market. They're trying to time this thing. They're on the sideline waiting for the elections. I said the biggest risk is not being in this market. A lot of institutional money, individual investors have been waiting on the sideline. And here we go again. The market's starting to take off. You're going to start seeing people try to play catch up pretty soon.
You know, Heather, I like that you also say look ahead, you know, in smart financial investing, because sometimes the things that aren't hot right now could get hot later. You actually, you know, looking at sectors, say financials and energy, where people should be looking.
Well, right. I think that technology has had tremendous growth. If you do believe that we get past COVID-19 at some point in our lifetimes, we all go back to work instead of working from home, then there will be a shift out of tech into things like financial and energy, especially as interest rates rise. And I think inflation will heat up. The more stimulus and money we print, regardless of if you're in favor of it or not, the financials would be a good place to hide, as well as consumer staples. They have actually done well. But when you look at consumer staples, healthcare, and tech, which dominate the S&P 500 right now, I think consumer staples would be a hedge against any uncertainty in the regarding the election, right, regarding inflation or COVID-19. Right. People are still going to stock up on the goods and services that they need, even during a recession.
You know, in the meantime, though, Rob, you brought up the SOX, folks. That's the Philadelphia Semiconductor Index, and it is on fire. One of the reasons there's a rumor of a takeover of one of the main players there, a company called Xilinx. And what's really amazing is that this could be a $30 billion deal. I'm starting to sense that, you know, with the stock market at these levels, we're going to see a lot more consolidation. Are there more individual semiconductor names of technology, anywhere else? Because I think we're going to start coming into work every morning and hearing of more blockbuster deals, Rob.
Yeah, no, I think so. And look, Xilinx nor AMD are really a small company, but I think you're going to see some more consolidation. But I think to that point, Charles, you probably, because it's lagged so much, the small cap index is down a couple percent. That's probably where the majority of the deals are going to be done. You know, there's one ETF out there, XSMO, that's the Invesco Momentum Small Cap ETF. That one's actually up about 9% year to date. So there's some good momentum going on in that ETF, and that might be a place you start to see some names get picked. There's one actually in there, right, Crocs, that's doing pretty good. They just signed the deal with the Beebs. That's something you got to look at.
Yeah. All right. Yeah, Crocs doing well. By the way, folks, the Russell 2000 small cap names up 8%, crushing everyone else. Hey, we got 30 seconds, Heather. You also think gold is a good hedge here?
Well, I think gold is a better hedge than like a cryptocurrency. At least I can wear it as jewelry. I mean, you can't eat it, but look, gold hit all-time highs this year, and I think if you're worried about uncertainty, that's a much better play to hedge your bets in gold versus cash or any of these Bitcoin cryptocurrencies out there right now.
All right, we were reminded of the story that King Midas learned the hard way. You can't eat gold. Heather, Rob, two of the best. Hey, have a great weekend. We'll talk to you again real soon. Now, here's a conundrum for you folks. A majority of voters are giving Joe Biden top marks for presidential qualities,